The air split with a scream a child scream sharp and raw, cutting through the hum of a quiet Thursday afternoon. I bolted from the garage, oil-smeared hands still gripping a wrench, my heart slamming against my ribs like it knew something I didn't. There in the backyard, my son Caleb stood frozen, all 10 years of him trembling under the shadow of a man I'd never seen before. The stranger's boots crushed the grass, his windbreaker flapping like a cheap cape, and in his hand a gun. Not a toy, not a Nerf blaster, but a real, glinting pistol aimed at my boy's chest. Caleb clutched a blinking remote. His Hot Wheels truck stalled mid-ramp, its plastic horn stuck in a pitiful honk. "Drop it, kid," the man barked, voice thick with authority he didn't own. I didn't think I ran, legs pumping, arms outstretched, planting myself between them. "Lower that damn gun," I roared, my voice cracking the suburban stillness. The man's eyes flicked to me, cold and unyielding behind aviators. "HOA enforcement," he spat. "Step aside." Enforcement? For a toy? My blood boiled, but Caleb's shallow breaths behind me kept me anchored. This wasn't a game. This was war, and it had been brewing longer than I'd realized. We'd moved to Willow Creek 6 weeks ago, chasing a postcard life. Emerald lawns, friendly waves, a school district that promised straight-A futures. I traded a chaotic city job for this grilled steaks on the deck that first night, convinced I'd cracked the code to peace. Caleb, my tornado of a son, fit right in, turning the backyard into his laboratory. He was a wiry kid with wild brown curls and a mind that churned faster than a jet engine stringing LEDs to a kite one day, rigging a slingshot with bungee cords the next. I loved his chaos. It was proof he was alive, untamed. For a week, I thought we'd landed in paradise. Then Margaret Hensley ruined it. She didn't introduce herself with a pie or a handshake. No, Margaret materialized on day 8, a wiry woman with a pinched face and a clipboard she wielded like a gavel. I parked my truck at a slight angle barely off the line, and she pounced. "We park straight here," she said, her voice a nasal jab, her thin lips curling into a smirk. "No, welcome. No, I'm your neighbor." Just a correction, delivered like I'd failed an audition. I forced a nod, shut the garage door, and pegged her as a petty tyrant I'd outlast. She strutted off, short steps clicking the pavement, her gray bob bouncing with every self-righteous bounce. That night, a letter appeared typed, triple-folded, taped to our door like a coward's confession. "Your household has been noted for excessive noise and non-compliant outdoor behavior. This is your courtesy notice from the Willow Creek HOA." Courtesy? My asset hinted at fines with the glee of a tax collector. Margaret was the HOA's attack dog, and she'd just bared her teeth. Caleb, bless him, didn't help my case. He wasn't a kid who sat still launched. At 9, he'd duct-taped a firecracker to a toy drone, grounded him for a month. Last week, he turned a cardboard box into Fort Thunder, complete with a pulley system and a water balloon launcher. Harmless, I thought, until Margaret's second strike. "Unsupervised minor," she'd snapped, catching him in the yard with a juice box and a squirt gun. "He's fine," I'd said, arms crossed. "Community standards," she countered, her pen scratching a $75 fine for unauthorized recreational misuse. Translation: Caleb had lobbed a water balloon that splashed her precious rose bushes. I should have billed her for the free irrigation. It escalated fast. A week later, 2 goons in gray windbreakers slunk into our yard, badges pinned to their chests, cheap and crooked, like they'd been stamped at a kiosk. One wore tactical gloves, the other flipped a notepad. "Compliance check," gloves grunted. "Reported structure violation." I blinked. "You mean the fort?" Caleb's latest masterpiece, stacked boxes, a tarp roof, and a PVC pipe he dubbed Cannon X. "Obstruct sight lines," notepad said, snapping photos. They left without a word. But Margaret watched from her porch, arms folded, a general overseeing her troops. That night, my motion cams caught them again, 2:47 a.m., flashlights slicing the dark, one poking at my shed, the other filming the garage. Not inspecting stocking. I saved the footage, my jaw tight. This wasn't about rules anymore. It was personal. Margaret doubled down the next morning, a folder under her arm thick enough to choke a horse. "Your third infraction," she said, flipping it open. "Neglect, noise, structures." She jabbed a finger at Caleb's Latesta slip, in-slide rig with a sprinkler. "Blocks visibility," she sneered. "You're rent-a-cops at my shed at 2 a.m.? I shot back. "Low-light verification," she said, unfazed. Caleb peeked out, Lego in hand, eyes wide. "Did I mess up, Dad?" I knelt. "No, buddy. She's just mad you're more fun than she is." He didn't smile. "Didn't play outside that day." That stung worse than her fines. As she turned to leave, Margaret leaned in, her breath sour. "This isn't about your son. It's about keeping this place pristine. If you can't control him, we will." Her smirk was a dagger. My fist clenched. She'd just drawn a line in I'd die before letting her cross it. Then came Victor Slade. 3 days after a threat, he swaggered up my drive boots thudding, sunglasses perched at 9 a.m., a patch on his windbreaker screaming, "HOA patrol. Risk response." My dog Buster growled low. "Sir, we need to talk," Victor said, hand hovering near his belt. "Reports of unsafe juvenile activity." I squinted. "Code red water balloons?" "Take this seriously," he puffed, chest out. "That patch real?" I asked. He bristled, shoving a $200 fine into my hand, improper projectile deployment. Margaret filmed from her porch, grinning like a director calling action. Victor marched off, stiff with delusions of grandeur. I thought he was the worst of it. I was wrong. Next day, he was back no knock, straight into the yard where Caleb tinkered with a Hot Wheels track. "Step away, kid," Victor snapped. Caleb froze. I charged out. "What the hell?" "Active safety inspection," he said. "That ramp's a hazard, loud impacts, kinetic testing. It's a toy, you clown. Approach my kid again without me, and we're talking real badges." He smirked. "I go where violations are." That night, Cams caught him pacing the sidewalk at 1:19 a.m., flashlight off, Margaret whispering nearby. He scribbled, grinned at the lens. Caleb dismantled his track the next morning, eyes down. "Might get in trouble," he mumbled. My chest burned. She was breaking him. Her crew swelled new faces, same fake badges. One fined us for excessive shade from a tree. Another measured my hedges, citing gap violations. Caleb stopped playing outside, sketching instead stick figures of Margaret and Victor, red XS over our house. "They don't like us," he said. "They're scared of your brain," I told him. "I don't want to be smart," he whispered. I roared into the night, "Damn who heard," then called my brother Ethan a cop with a nose for fraud. 2 hours later, he had Victor's real name, no badge, no license, a rap sheet for impersonation. Margaret had hired a thug to haunt my kid. It all crashed down that Thursday. Caleb, high off a math test win, begged for a backyard Nerf war. I cave foam darts, a plywood ramp, his remote truck honking like a goose. His laughter was a bomb, loud and free. Then Victor stormed in, gun drawn, not holstered. "Put it down, kid," he yelled, aiming at Caleb's blinking controller. I froze on the porch, then sprinted, shielding him. "It's a toy, you psycho." "Surveillance grade," Victor barked. Sirens wailed. Ethan's cruiser screeched in, badge gleaming. "Drop it," Ethan ordered. Victor hesitated, sanctioned op, then the gun hit the dirt. Deputies swarmed him. "Set up," he screamed as cuffs clicked. Margaret filmed, smug. I stormed over. "You did this." "He's unhinged." "I hired help," she shrugged. Ethan loomed. Statement. Now. By dusk, Victor was jailed, his fake badge bagged. Body cam footage later showed him confessing. "She told me to scare the kid, teach him a lesson." Margaret was the puppet master. I'd once run fraud probes for a living, so I unleashed hell calls to old contacts. HOA records unearthed, forged emails, $12,000 funneled to Margaret's consulting shell. At the next meeting, I dropped the evidence. Board members squirmed. She had authority, one stammered. To arm a fraud? I snapped. They suspended her. I went nuclear civil suit, dissolution petition, a note in her mailbox. Should have stuck to parking tickets. "You're done." Margaret unraveled, screaming barefoot in the street, papers flying. "He's rigging it," she shrieked. A kid yelled, "Boo!" Laughter buried her. The viral clip tanked her reign. Then a tip. Another family, Jonah, 8, skull cracked by Victor over a kite. With Jonah's parents, we sued harassment, endangerment. News flared. HOA fake cop terror. Margaret's assets froze. A raid nab drives listing 79 Targetsis. Jonah, Mia, 6, battered over scooter. 8 families united, her empire exposed. The HOA collapsed, board ousted, her fines voided. She croaked a hollow, I regret choices to cameras, powerless. Caleb rebuilt his truck with rockets, grinning. Ethan's final file sealed it. Margaret's house, a nuisance zone, her control ash. We dug bunkers, safe at last. Her tyranny was dead-end. Caleb's laughter rang louder than ever. If you were the one in this story, how would you react? Would you stand up and fight back, or accept the unreasonable pressure and control from the HOA? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with more people. Your small action gives us the motivation to keep bringing you more intense and engaging stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.